software review, confusion, frustration, concern. How can I check this? How check with this? So, search manager role, even better. My vision has been that I want that to be the place that creates a database that we can all search with. We can take the actual ticket of all the information that you put in, content areas, standard, subject, what does it do, and put that into a database that's searchable. And I also want type. Is it a simulation? Is it a drill practice? Is it problem solving? Is it so a teacher could go in and say problem solving, 4th grade math, and then a list of things will pop up, and then it'll show it's in progress, it's approved, it's at 9. So I want everything in one system. So we are working towards that because we're not there. We haven't fully used Service Manager a full year yet, and we're still learning it. We're building it as we're using it. So that's the overall goal. So we're going to get there. I just don't know when. But there are some things that we can do to help the process speed up a bit. One is you all have rights. You all have an activity that you need to do if somebody in your school puts in a software review. Does anybody know what that activity is? What do you have to do? So what are the questions? You know, kind of, I've never seen your part. I thought it was just, that's it, the approval.
If you submit it, someone else gets it.
If you're
Just needing approval.
yes, you do.
We wanted to make sure with ITC that you guys have submitted that NDA and ASP.
Well, that's the thing.
Even if it comes through to you, it's to make sure whoever submitted it, that process has been done.
So as the IT, when it's your role, your activity, the T-Spec already did their role, it passes on to you. You go in, you see you have an activity, you see, oh, Mrs. Smith wants this. You need to look at that and say, that takes student, there's a lot, and there's student information that might be stored outside. This teacher needs to get this A and NDA. You don't have to do it if you don't feel that's your job. If the teacher wants it, they need to further investigate that product. The other thing is age. There are some things that teachers are using that they shouldn't be at the elementary level. There are some things that say parent required permission. Some of them say cannot use it if they're under the age of 13. I just interviewed someone the other day, and in her portfolio were all these tools that she uses with her classroom. Every one of them 13. Choose from outside, so you get it. But anyway, every one of them had a 13 age requirement, and she was doing 3rd grade. We can't do that. So as an activity, we need to have conversations, or maybe a checklist that we could even design a checklist if you want it, that you can share with your teacher before you say something. Read the privacy policy, do a Control F, type in 13, see if 13 comes up. Control F, type parental, just so they don't have to read all that garbage. That's what I do. It's not garbage, it's legal terms. So the privacy policy, and then if it stores student information on their servers, if there's a log, they're going to need the NDA and ASP. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, one of the issues we have, and I'm speaking from the high school level, we're updating Windows 10. And when we update to Windows 10, all of a sudden a lot of the software that's already been improved doesn't work on it. I've got science teachers with shockwave displays and things like that they're going to be doing, but it has to have the old shock. The new shockwave doesn't. The new Office mix, for example, now is 2013. It's not 2016. So if you're using the Office mix and you didn't download it from the account, if you download it from the server outside Microsoft, it works. If you do it from the software center, it doesn't work. So as we're doing these updates and stuff like this, things are changing. So when we're doing some of these types of reviews, I go and check on something, and it did work. Now all of a sudden there's a new update, and that's just a nightmare scenario.
It's going to be a nightmare. So before we moved to Windows 10, we talked to all the curriculum specialists about their curriculum software that they recommend for their content. And we asked them to check with the vendors about Windows 10 compatibility. We took all of that information and we made sure vendors were contacted if they were required for the course or whatever, so that we were set to go. Now, the 5 million other things that teachers should want because of this and that, there's no way or no resource that we have that's going to be able to go to every one of them and double check that they're compatible with 10. It's got to be up to the user to resubmit a ticket to be reevaluated, or to, if there's an issue, a ticket to be submitted to see how we can get it to work if it is, mandatory for that content, or required for that content, or does something amazing.
I mean, a lot of the filtering systems that can go on that have been put on by some people at the county. I mean, it goes back to YouTube. It goes back to all of a sudden we had access to it, and now we can't even get that going on because the tagging and things are there. So from an instructional standpoint, when we're trying to work with our teachers on it, we're not sure. A lot of the things I try to do, sometimes I do it at home, it works fine. Do it at school, it's not there. So
we're not going to be able to get past some of those things, some of those security things. We're not going to be able to solve all of those issues. The recommendation would be, before you're using it live in front of your kids, you need to test it. You need to make sure it works ahead of time in our system. You can put in a ticket, see if you can get it either unblocked or see if we can work to get it to work in our division. And we have some amazing people on IT, and we've had some that will really work their butt off to get something to work. But if we don't know what it is, and it's not critical to what we're doing, I don't know how much we can help. But I understand, and I came from another division that was very, very, very locked down as well. But if we know it's critical, we will forward as quickly as we can. Suzanne and I talked the other day. She put in a ticket for something. Sometimes if I know about it, I can walk over there and say, "Here's a cookie. Can you help me with this?" So I'll try to help you as best I can. Sometimes you'll probably get the end of what you want, but I will try to advocate for instruction. Yeah. It's a regulation. Through Regulation 295. It has been November. Look in the November communicator. November, I don't know. It was right. It was that whole Schoology thing. It was a big thing. Yep. Go get it again. But you can look at the regulation. You can look at the software website. It references all the regulations of the software review website, and it gives the whole process of what you can and cannot do. You take that, put it on your webpage, send out the link, copy the text, put that somewhere. Post it in the bathroom, whatever. I get that from my children. Yeah. So, admin support, having a conversation. I'm sorry? Did you show the regulation? I mean, the regulation is there. It is on that page. Everything is there. It has nothing to do with what I said or Jason said or AJ said. It's a regulation, and it's there. So just making sure people are aware of that. I can, as I send the principals an update from today's meeting, I can put that all in there again. You can
also reach people with new email, do the posting, and not let it happen to me. Why don't we try all those different listings?
Yep. Yep. Is that them?
We should clap really loud just to compete. We should clap really loud just to compete. We need to get some applause over here. What's up with that?
Yes.
I can speak for her. I talked to Charles Perkins yesterday for that reason, because we were getting frustrated with one of the software that we had proposed. And there's a comment section, guys, when it comes to your piece of CC approving. You could write a comment, even if it has not gotten all the paperwork, the forms, or whatever. Let Charles have done that we'll put a comment and either approve or reject. That way it goes to the next step in the process while we're waiting for some things to happen.
You have someone that studies the T-spec you.
Exactly.
Who sees that comment?
The next person in the system.
T-spec,
Yeah.
when they go to service manager, it's one of their tickets.
It goes to principal, so it varies.
It goes to T-spec, goes to you, it goes to the principal.
Yeah.
After it goes to the principal, it goes to help desk. Help desk, after it goes to help desk, if it needs InfoSec, it's not some security or a login, it goes to InfoSec. If it doesn't need that, they skip that, it goes to me. I'm the last one in the tournament. And sometimes, I'm gonna tell you now, it has, they determine, if there's an NDA to ASP attached, if there's a login, it automatically goes over to InfoSec. So InfoSec just started a new process maybe a couple weeks ago. They have they have 3 new people in that office. 3 out of an office of 5. So there's only 2 normal people who don't think in the software. So now 2 people are looking at the software. So I moved over to them, what's in your queue today? What do you want to work today? And they promised me they're pushing through them faster. I'd have to say the last week or so I've had 5 in my box. That's more than I've had in the last probably 3 months. So we're getting through it.
The issue that I have is the fact that the transparency is just not there. If I have to submit software and somebody else in the county submits software, we're both submitting. We have no idea that anybody else is submitting. And as it goes through the whole process, I don't know if somebody at the Hill, something like that, what they've done, what comments they've made. Because I get my friend come back and he says, listen, it's been there for 4 weeks. What's going on with it? And they can't find out either. They got to go back and dig out.
Your T-spec
Yes.
The T-spec.
They can search to see what's been submitted. That is the
They can
next
see
step
what's
in the
been
process.
submitted, but not the comments. The comments, things like that. If
Before tickets, they can't do that. This system of putting in tickets is new.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I put it in I put it in last spring before all this happened, and it's still not. So there is no, and then other people have done it since then.
I've seen they've taken some paper copies and scanned them into the system. I've seen that. I don't know where they're getting this stuff. I don't know. But this is exactly right. You are totally 100% right. You don't know. So that's why I'm trying to get this other system so that if you do have a software review, all you have to do is type in the name. It will tell you if it's in the process. So that is where we need to go. And I know that. I submitted that to AJ. And that is a direction I'm hoping we're going to do. But I want one system that we do everything in one system.
Yep, communication is everything, Marcia.
Yep.
Good point.
And
Yep.
if you have a question, and something is like dragging, throw me an email or throw them an email, and we will take that ticket and go into a set or where I can see the process where it is. Just send it to me. I've been doing that with many of you, and I'll go knock at the door or I'll send it to Jason, and I'm like, hey, I really want this. It's been in there since April. Where are we with this? Sometimes they'll say, oh, well, I told them here because we don't have an NDA or an ASP. I'm like, they don't tell me that. Anyway, but we are really working hard to make this system work. I'm hopeful, and I hope you're hopeful. We'll get there. Everything takes time here.
Is there a possibility to put on our notebook someplace a list of the maybe software or websites that are not appropriate for elementary, so we don't have to every time go through it?
So if that's to add to the form,
No, because it would be okay.
and I have to look at that. So every software goes through me. So, and I would have to open up every single ticket, and I will have to find that text.
No,
I
that's
can
not what I'm
put it in
asking.
there.
Like when you said you went through the portfolio of this person,
Oh, yeah.
and they had stuff that was
Oh,
not.
because I knew those.
I know, but is the ones that you know, is it possible to have a place on our document saying it's not appropriate for use? in elementary?
Yeah, I hate that spreadsheet.
And then as it comes, as more, then we just.
So maybe we can have, I
I
don't know.
mean, if you just have a page saying, elementary don't use this, or something, just so it would be so much faster to just go there and look than to have to go through
But do
every.
you know how much stuff So it's just what teachers want. And these little fly-by-night companies that it's not used ever. It's just at one school for just one third grade teacher. To take the time to go through 2,000, 3,000 titles and do that, right, to do PASS would be difficult because some of these aren't global. I'll do it for global.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, anything that's big, like I could do it for some of the new things that are coming out now that I know more than one school will use.
Right.
I can do that. Maybe I can color code it on the spreadsheet. So if it's yellow or if it's green, it's for everybody, you know. If it's yellow, maybe you can do it through 13 or something. I can try to do that. I have nothing else to do, so I can definitely do that. But some of these big ones, somebody can put that in the notes.
Yeah, you guys can populate the table yourselves. We could just make the table in the book, and if you guys find that there's things inappropriate for whatever reason, you can always put them in there.
Yeah,
I imagine there's lots of and it's my administration is not here.
you know, so they're a bigger year now, and this process has changed and gotten better. I mean, I think working closer with IT on what's going on, I think. But there's also a consortium of folks that are planning on creating some standards of looking at software. So if Loudoun County says, yeah, this one's approved, then we'll automatically say it's approved. So that is a group that we want to join and be a part of. And if we can do that, maybe that there's a big database that can link up. It has to be, I want one system. Because when you get a ticket, why do you need to go way over here to see if it's approved? It's all one system. So we're trying to figure all that out. Yeah, I know it's a hairy thing, and I feel your pain and frustration because I had it too. I did my things for curriculum offices, and it just hangs there, and the vendor always calling me, so what's going on? What's going on?
Notice that, like, I'm looking at the spreadsheet because I sent it to County for elementary.
Yeah.
And it says it's approved.
So
So it would be better for it to say, it says, please require all of the students.
I know.
And the teachers are do that, but if they'll look at that list and they're
Say
going to
it's
say,
approved.
it's approved, and I'm getting
We contacted them, and we found a text that said, you can use it. We sent that back to them and said, are you sure this is the way this is? Because we're promoting it with these younger kids. We can have kids access to the equipment, so everything is secure. And they said, yes, kids under 13 can use it, and there's no parent involved needed. I'm like, why did we have it under, it was in their privacy policy, we can't find it now.
You brought him aware of it.
No, they said they don't know. I know, and I just copied that text and sent it to them. So,
we're okay now.
we're okay, I'm gonna add this to the cover. And we'll do that one. Yeah, I've asked them for an NDA, so I'm still waiting for that. Yep.
Again, I saw the improved software, like, how it's approved, would you put some of those in password requirements, you know, and characters, you have to provide. So, this is probably the question, but for those programs that we're using, we're not using public files. The password needs to be something other than your office, right?
I didn't hear, I mean, I would hope we could use the same, they just don't want, if the complexity is so if they use the same one, I don't think there's an issue with that. And it's, you know, Clever just makes it easy because you don't have to create the accounts. So, and the ones that we approve are encrypted, so it shouldn't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Would it be possible for us to get like a weekly or monthly email classifying any software that's been approved and got time?
I have time to do that. I can do that.
Can you just add that in, like, to approve it? Or is there something else?
No, like I said, I've done 5 maybe the last month or so that is slowly coming in. I can do that, I just still remember, so put it in the notes, highlight it, that I will do that. I'll do that. Okay. I'm sorry? You want it in the window? You want it in the window? So So actually, we already have a spreadsheet of people started with what they've sent in, so that I could go back in and I can say, approve, I think that way. So people will have to go back and look. Yeah, people will have to go back and look. You can see that. Okay, I really apologize, this is such a pain, I really do, and I hope we don't have to talk about this next year, I hope it gets better. And your suggestions, Brian's got a lot of things to say. He's got a great site. It's just, and he works with this other vendor. It's a wonderful site. It's ETR, Educational Technology Resources, I think, review. And it's a great site. It's just another site. It's just another place to go. Plus, there are things in there that, we haven't really looked at. And I don't want to promote so many things across the board. It's a great site, it's just I can't integrate it yet. So, I don't know. You can use that site as your reference, but you gotta use what we have now to do our official work. Yep.
When you submit an NDA, they follow up with you and say, please, we can sign that.
We get a phone call. How about, like yesterday, tell them what you did.
We had some questions. We had submitted a software for Shobi. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. For Casey's. They had some questions because we'd been waiting and hadn't heard anything from them. So I sent out a second request to them to get our forms back. And they asked us to have a phone call with our purchasing office because they didn't feel they could sign some things either. So we called Damian Jones and had him come into the conference room and we had the phone call with Shobi. So that comforted them a little bit to be able to talk to him. And then also they had some questions about the ASP. So
The outcome of it was.
they still needed 60 more days to review it. So it is still a slow process, and that's typically what does slow it down. But that's why when I talked to Charles, I could put that in my comments. They think they're going to be able to work with us, but they want some more time to work with their IT department.
So we can do the review with just the ASP. Jason wants the ASP because that helps answer a lot of their technical things that they test. But the NDA is really critical when you purchase. So if you put the comment in, they'll give us the NDA, but just not now, then we will just not approve it until we have the NDA. And that's totally legal, totally common. It's between procurement, security, and our legal folks. We actually allowed revisions to the document as long as our office, our procurement approve those revisions. Actually, our legal folks have to approve whatever revision is done. And we've done that. It takes longer because it's got a little legal, but we can get that going. If it's an account, and data is stored out there, and there's a login that goes across the network or outside, it has to, yeah. And it's, so that whole idea of what student information is, so it just gets tricky as to what that is. They're just logging in just to get the resource. That's different than logging in, doing work, and it saves on their servers. But that logging in, still they want to check it. So it's possible the ASP wouldn't be required for some of those, but the NDA should be.
Is that true even if kids create their own account?
Is what?
Is that true even if kids are creating their own?
You can't require them.
I know you can't require them, but if they just go create their own account to use, is
You mean not being encouraged by a staff member? They're just doing it on their own.
Probably being encouraged by staff members.
That's careful.
I know. They're not using their school stuff, but
I think it still comes down to parental notice.
I would think. I'm just curious too, because I think I've heard some of that.
It's probably, they're looking for Natalia or something.
You missed the telemarketer.
Yeah.
It was your reservation. So we can check in by you. Not this weekend anyway, right?
Our ABC Computer Science Club is doing a coding camp this before school. We're offering it to all the kids in the county and kids from outside the county to come in. In order to get on the computers, they have to have a login. We do that. You can. Okay. That's share because the generic login concept is against acceptable use policy, and we can't have student login.
What we can do is we can account that only lasts that time period.
Oh, excellent.
So put in a ticket
Absolutely.
and say, when professional opening, we need an account for students that allow, if there's anything that they need to get into, and we need only from this time frame on this day.
On April.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah, and actually, all the labs, everything like that,
It's a
actually
Saturday.
going really well.
Yep, so you, and
all
you
our-
talked about how many people would need the account used by, yeah, those are that. Yes, and those are all my fault, Karen, and I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. Well, no, I mean, it's not that at all. I mean, it is money. Everything is money. And yes, Karen, so I think Karen is, she's with my temper, sure. She'll find these things that we just don't know about, and we will fix. But there's something we just can't do. We are small. No, we are big, but we have a small team. The discovery security certificate, we don't know about. I think Colleen Boyd, did she follow up with Colleen? Is she here yet? I didn't see her. She wasn't here anything. So she really followed up with Discovery and
there she is.
pinpointed the total issue. So that was outstanding. I didn't realize that it was huge, that it was everywhere until we got messages on Wednesday, and then we realized, oh, it was bigger than we thought. And Colleen sent a message, and it really got down to the nitty gritty of what the issue was. I sent that off to our security folks and our Microsoft folks, and they fixed it like that. So that was just uncontrollable. We didn't know about it, and it should be acknowledged. The network thing, one of the issues was that our service provider did do something, and we just didn't. I don't think we reacted to what they did. Or what they did something yesterday morning at like 5 or something. So there was something that. I guess if we were more aware of what they were doing, I guess maybe we could have been better prepared. So yeah, things do happen. We are hoping for some money to increase and improve the stability of our network. I think all of these little incidences have opened the eyes of our leadership to say, wow, we really need to do something. So we had that experience all those bumps in the road to get recognized as a huge issue. What also helped was Nisha, she here.
She's in the chat.
Nisha, we were with government officials in the atrium doing a Skype with Bull Run, and we lost all sound because of the network. But it was good for them to see it. It wasn't planned. But yeah. And I understand that frustration. You want to do something, you get so pumped up, you get your teachers all excited, and you go in and it doesn't work. I understand. Yeah. Somebody was working on that one. Yeah. You know what? If you need to do it, you gotta do it. I'm here for you, and if I can advocate for what you're doing, I will. And if you're not getting what you need, and it's just getting on the back burner, sending it to me, and you may have to send it twice, but if sending it to me, I will do what I can to get it going. So don't ever think, or send it to them and let them send it to me, or send it to them and let them complain to me. Whatever you're doing, I'm here for you to advocate, and I have a big girl. And I can go in there, they're little short guys. So, I can take them all. So, no, do not hesitate to email me. And if you don't get a response from me, nag me again. You have my cell phone numbers, just nag me. That's why I'm here. It's written in my contract. You are being nagged every day by all the workers. So, that's fine. I think I've got some doubts from some other folks. I could maybe say, yes, call Diane, so I will do what you can. Fail sometimes, but she will try to fight.
This is kind of on off the same subject, but is there any reason why Flash Player is not on Software Center? But it didn't, and we're having to.
So I don't know about this. So can you send it to me right in this, and let me follow up with our software.
Yeah, I just thought maybe I could.
Yeah, there's a lot I don't know, but there's a lot I can learn, so. Yep. Okay.
Number one, Dixie, when people that did the, they have not gotten their class with count video. They kind of dig. See, mine hasn't gotten anything, that's why we didn't get anything, but they're all.
So I just follow the people who went up the training and say, try.
Okay. Number two, when we have a printer on device, okay, in our school. The show brings us apps that we have to bring in, and it has an app on there that we know is not approved in principal.
Yeah, you require, it's their device.
So they can use it during that.
Yeah, as long as it's hooked up.
Appropriate, right? And then like so we have practice, our kids with all of that. We also have science students on this account, as well as because that's the only one that we have. So you'll see a lot of breaking our class now.
So we would audit all of those accounts, and if there's your principal will be notified. But this time here, we'll. All right, so software review, hopefully will get better. Ticket issues, you haven't heard from in a long time. Do not hesitate to send a ticket number to them. Man, what's up with this? I can't see the general tickets, I can only see software review, but if you send me a general ticket number, I can maybe say, you know, what's up with this. So do not hesitate. You can send them to them and let them distribute it and fill up their mailboxes.
We can actually search it as well. We have searching capability, so
Yeah.
that would help.
Okay, you know what? Yeah. Okay, so those things, if you really are satisfied with it being close, let me know. Okay, let me know. You don't get out of your school and you still need help. That's sad. So let them know. So send it to me or send them to let them come. Their offices hopefully will be next year to me, so it'll be easier for them to complete. All right.
Okay, let me go back to Office 2016 updates.
So are we good? And still be trying today to ask me these questions like office, you know, so that everybody who may not need to know those answers, you can do that later. All right, turn it over.
Thank you. All right, guys, just a quick recap of some updates to Office 2016 that we learned. We went to Florida back in January for FETC. I'm going to show you quickly what they are so that we don't spend too much time on this, but if you want to know more about it, let us know, or take our virtual course, which is coming up soon too. First thing is the PowerPoint refresher. Just some extra things that were added to it. Smart Lookup is actually most of the Office apps. I don't know if you guys are aware of what it is, but if you have a term or a topic, you highlight it, you right-click, and there's Smart Lookup right here. And as you tap that, the margin that comes on the right side, and it gives you some ideas about the topic you've put there. You can get defined words, or you can get things that match up to it, images, all kinds of ideas. So this is very helpful in the classroom for maybe that student that's not quite inspired on the project topic. So just some ideas there. It's also in Outlook, it's in Word, so you can use that in several of the Office apps. Very helpful in here, though. I'm in Client, but I'm sure it works online as well. That's a good question. One of the next things, if you haven't seen it yet, is design ideas. This is what they're putting in all of their Office apps. Sway also has a quick start program if you've not seen that yet. You start from a topic, you type in the topic, and it pulls up an outline. In this case, it gives you design ideas of how the slide looks. So you would kind of get your slide, then you go to the design. I'm sorry, I don't have a mouse. I have to use the one on the laptop. And as you go to design, you go over here to design ideas. And then it pops up some different slide ideas, kind of like what Sway does. But Sway is more intuitive to what your terms are that you've put in. Of course, this says no design ideas, just because there's nothing on it, I'm sure. But you could easily just get all kinds of different pictures of slides. It has just different fonts, things like that. One of my favorite new things, I'm going to go back to slideshow mode so you can see it happen first. But there's a transition called morphs. Okay. Oh, Billy, did you change my presentation mode? Yeah, it's to present that way. I'm not going to see. Here's another. I just want to give you some classroom ideas. So what it does, of course, is move slides. It allows different kind of animation. In this case, you may have a part of the word in the slides, which is nice. This idea reminds me of maybe the moon going around the Earth, and then of course on the right side, the Earth going around the sun. You can have all 9 planets talk about their revolutions around this moves as it goes. I love the Earth idea. The other one would be in language arts. You want to do just verbs. You can see that as it goes up and kind of allows the terms to come up. So just some ideas there for you for morph. It's one of the new things that they have in PowerPoint. Lots of fun. I'm going to go back to slideshow mode. Edit. Tell me what you want to do is at the top here. It simulates a search bar, or a help bar almost. But if I wanted to say start my slideshow or change my background, I could put that in this bar here, and it would easily do that for me. It will also tell you about morph if you don't know how to do it. And let me just tell you, when you do morph, you have to duplicate your slide that you're morphing. And then you actually move the animation, click morph, and it does it for you. Everything you want morphed, you have to highlight and click morph. The last thing I have to tell you, it's very disappointing, this mix is going away. What's interesting, though, is they've always had a recording feature in PowerPoint. Many people just weren't turned on to it until they saw Office Mix. So what they're recommending now is that even though you still have Mix in your ribbon, and you're going to have it for another at least 6 months, maybe another school year, but start using the native program in PowerPoint. And that is basically just to go to slideshow, record slideshow, start recording from the beginning, and then it opens up another screen that's very much like Mix. Already these, and then of course they're online. And they're not sure yet, they're still milling over that one. So you can see here that I'm in record mode. I'm recording now. I do my whiteboard, I click on these things. So I can still do all of the Mix tools. It's just not called Mix anymore. The second question I pull up, who has seen your slides, how much time they spent on them, etc. They have not answered that question yet either. But I imagine that's probably part of the reason Mix is going away. So while you can still make a movie of your PowerPoint, I don't know that we'll have that capability any longer. So, but we are working on keeping you informed with that one. I agree. I love Mix, but PowerPoint still has that feature. So I don't want you guys to abandon PowerPoint. Just understand that Mix is going away. Maybe get your staff familiar with that idea because it is extremely disappointing. The very last thing I wanted you to do is for Office 2016. We have a wonderful team. If you're on the virtual team, will you please stand up? Sean, Cynthia, Vicki, Cheryl, Sandy. Nobody else? Susan. Is Leslie here? Yay. All 8 of these people have come together, and we have teamed up to make 4 virtual courses that are interactive for teachers to be able to take and learn not only about the tool, but how to integrate that into their teaching. So we want the students learning using these tools, and the whole idea is to inspire them with different resources and ideas to do this. So if you've not heard of them already, please make sure your staff is aware of them. They're all coming down the pipe this spring. Sway is in session now. OneNote follows. I think Skype and OneNote will be simultaneous, and then Mix will come soon after that, or PowerPoint. Okay? Any questions? All right. Thank you.
How do you share opportunities for virtual learning or do some virtual learning things with your staff? What did you care? How many people? I think I had 5 or 6 people. Cool. And so they're actively using it because of it. Excellent. It was very narrow in time they could do it, right? Who else was doing it? Somebody at this table. Michelle, what are you doing?
Well, I was going to say that's super interesting in the office, because I was doing training on OneNote, but I think that I could also use OneNote to run it.
Right. Well, having something like what, is there anything visible that you see within the course that you're doing? Or do you have to go look at their webpage to see that they did something?
It's a blog, so we have to answer questions.
Okay. So maybe integrating something like that. We're finding and we're learning, but the SLMS has some of those neat features that you would want in a virtual PD tool. It doesn't have everything you want, but it has more than just a class notebook or or whatever that we have access to. So there are some good features within SLMS. Yep.
And then we're now doing our morning announcements every morning, and today I was prepared by someone to go to the presentation. And today we had we referred to the business website pulls out really good stories. We embedded that into the presentation, so this is the first way that we're trying to big stories in full school. So it's all and discussion
Is that through SLMS or was that true?
that is through so we're starting.
Did you watch it?
I think that you watched it. I heard her do announcements, but I wasn't paying attention now that it's been here. So I missed it, so I don't know how that was made. That's the first time we're starting to get to it. So we have our plus one fitness video together, and so when they put it together. So that was absolutely there. So that's all I think.
Hopefully you can use it.
I think I got to. I don't even remember.
Yeah. Good for you. Excellent idea. It actually makes it more virtual. Yep.
I do love teacher apps. Every time a teacher says me a problem, instead of giving them fish, I would take what they did and just give them teacher app. I just post about YouTube so I can at least see how the teachers access it.
There you go. Explain the hacking.
Well, basically, I just take a blog of initiatives. For example, a common prayer page, and videotape myself fixing the most common problems. And just post it.
Hack also, since Microsoft does another definition of hack, is whenever you find a good way of doing something, they call that hack. Usually it's some problem. We'll talk more about that when we get to Microsoft. We're not this side. Anybody else get virtual? Yeah.
I have a question, and just for everybody here, I need some help with this. At the high school level, we're finding, particularly with the use of technology and the iDrive and so forth, there's a lot of cheating going on. And the cheating, and teachers are going ahead and they're finding out, they're saying to kid cheated on a test, a record throw on it, the kid gets a 0. This rate comes back says, okay, you've already penalized. But we know down the road that if they don't get the information, they're going to feel helpless. Is there tools? Are there resources? Is there a way from a technology perspective? I know like right now, SOL testing, it has as soon as that you kick in the nav, you're out. You can't go anywhere else. Are there tools that we can offer teachers to be able to start getting in an environment that gives them a sense like, okay, you can't really cheat here.
So they're just going outside of whatever they're in to go and find answers? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, or they're going to the iDrive, they're picking up stuff before. If you're in a coding environment, if you don't know the base code, you can just cut and paste that from somebody else and add anything you want to it. But if you can't go back to the baseline, you don't know what you're doing.
I don't know if there are free tools that are for PWCS to do something like that, but like deep freeze, or there were some programs that you could lock where they were managed better, like yeah.
Inner class?
Yep.
Nowhere else. There's other things you can do. Mass login.
I was gonna say, KnetUps is another one that I don't know how. I don't know how you. I guess you could close it up to multiple things. I think now you can do one, but I know that you can. I don't know.
I mean, you can turn in.com, regardless where, I
So
mean,
that's plagiarism, so.
but plagiarism, and even in
Well,
coding
if
and things
you're
like
doing
that,
a
it's
test and
whatever.
going outside, it's different than
Correct.
doing a report and then testing to see if they did it. So yeah, turn in, the most known one. There are some, we don't have any of those. Like Blackboard has one built in, Blackboard.
School messenger, does that sound like it?
I don't know, let me ask. Hey, you were right.
Shock. No, I didn't have a book.
Oh, really?
No.
Alright, so it did software password report. So there's just some concern and just something that you should just be aware of. There are kids, for some odd reason, they may not have changed it. Their expiration date for their password should be 1 year from when they change it. So if for some reason the kid might have been in summer school or something, maybe last year, and they might have had to change their password during summer school, I don't know. Just trying to think of what the scenario is. If they don't change it before they leave, they won't be able to get into anything over the summer. You know, if it like expires in July, well, the only way they'll be able to reset it is by coming to school to reset it. So all IT is asking is that if you can check the report of when people's passwords are going to expire, and just notice the one that might expire in June, so they don't leave without updating their password. That's probably the biggest one. Or if you see their password for some odd reason expires in July or August, have them do it in June before they leave. Or just recommend. Yeah, June. Put a ticket in for that, just a general ticket, and yeah, is that the way it's supposed to be? No, I mean, to help desk, did they say that's just the way it is, or did they? So if you throw it to me, and you have a conversation with somebody, and just to make sure they're aware, okay? Sure. I hope not. Okay. So this is an action item, so I don't know if you guys highlight this. I just go in and look at that password reset report or password expiration report and highlight and make sure you notify kids or teachers or I don't know how you do it or parents, but those kids should reset it before they leave. Because in August, when their schedules come out or whatever, and their password expires, that's gonna be a pain. So just to really to make the parents call up, hey, I can't get in. Get them done by, in June. Yeah.
The subs, right now, the subs in the school, if they do their first sign on at your school, I really would link them.
Yeah.
Because they would have to be, I had a sub to come in, she locked her account. She was set up and, I can get to my, is there any way the subs can be in the pool where we can just?
We talked about
See
that.
them all?
They're in the
Yeah.
room, you can see them.
Yeah.
We don't have access to the room. You can access.
You do have access.
Okay, you do.
You guys did you hear that? You do have access. Isn't it TBD or what was it called?
The last tab.
The account management tab. I think this one will do it though. We already had this question. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Throw me an email and tell me what you want me to ask, and I'll do that. Okay? Alright. Sorry, Joe. Yeah, it's gonna change different course, right? Yeah, can you turn that to me too, and tell that to my colleagues and say, does that mean every third grader is gonna have to go through the second password? Yeah, could you do that? Send it to me? Yep, that'd be great, and let me just make sure the team knows that, hey, you guys, that we need to make sure people are aware of. going to be turned off for all students. And that's sad in a way. Remember I asked who was using camera with kids, and I didn't get a whole lot of those. Our district used it all the time. So the problem is they've got to develop a script and something else to do this. So it's just got to take time. But we know it's going to get turned off. I will give you all a heads up before it's turned off. I told them to tell me before they flip the switch because I don't want them flipping and you guys don't know. So Nero will be turned off. If it's, but they're doing it at home, yeah, we don't monitor that at all. Unless it is a threat made by a student, then they may have to talk to our InfoSec to pull that record. So, yeah, no. Yep. So it's an individual task. I mean, so somebody has to go in, find that kid, and do something. I don't know if they can shut individual things off, but are you thinking for a year? So if they, there's something about the email, if they have, right. I'm just asking that. I don't know if they take the email out for K2, is that because they're bigger? I'm not sure.
I thought it was mentioned that,
It is on the webpage.
that if you opt out,
Yeah.
that there was going to be a way.
There is,
that you
because,
stay in office.
yeah, because the second grade, is that way. I just don't know what the work is for that to happen. And it, they don't even want to publicize that, so that it's a lot of work. Yeah. It's going to be manual per kid, and if that, that's not something you want to get the business of, really. If you have 90 schools or 60 elementary schools, you gotta go in with this one, this one. I'm not sure. Oh, you have? Yeah. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's gonna happen the way I think. Right, so password, your task is make sure you go look at this, contact those kids or those teachers can contact the kids to say, hey, set your password now. I think you noticed that some teachers now are getting emails that say, hey, your password's going to expire in 3 days, 2 days, whatever. I'm not sure. I think they're going to do something like that for students, but I'm not sure. Huh?
Still got the little box. And then they do it, and they can lock themselves out.
No, I got an email.
They lock themselves out because they do it then, or they, when they go log in, they can log in unless they change it. But then they still have to go and pass the filter and change it again.
Yep.
Diane, those emails look exactly like phishing scams. Don't you, and if you go back and read that email you got that says your password's about to expire, please get, it's not, it's exactly, I don't know, whatever. It sounds just like what somebody said if you were trying to do a phishing email.
Wow.
So I think they need to work on how they're sending
Yeah,
that.
I like the little box above there, it said something.
Yeah, like, please click here and put your information. I mean, it just doesn't sound good.
Put that into our number.
Where
They'll say, oh, go to this box.
And that's not the right way.
Right, because those that have
That's
to
not
make
the right way, it doesn't
right.
connect, right? Yeah, I already brought that one up to them, and I don't know if anyone will stop that.
And my teachers are coming to me and they're like, and I'm like, oh.
And then it's not connected. Yeah. So put that in the box and then in there. Anybody know about the NSA data cyber thing? Does anybody know about that? I guess it was. Yeah. So it came out in the Virginia superintendent that goes on the window to sign up is between October and whatever, it ends in March, okay? So, anyway, if you want to look at this NSA Day of Cyber School Challenge, maybe there's a teacher that would love to do something like that. Go to the website. I think you can enter some things about what your school's going to do. Yeah. So just if maybe there's somebody at your school who wants to play around with that. If you do play around with that and you do get involved with that, I don't know. They want to advertise it, I think, somehow in the communicator, maybe. I don't know. They wanted me to keep track of who's doing what. I guess I'll send that message out if anybody's doing anything. Okay. Oh, T-SIPs. I love talking about T-SIPs. So, new report should be set up. Okay. So we have that March 31st that's coming out. And if you still have people from November, please touch base with them. Because come June, these people, their names come up. It's the same, they have been in meetings with your principal, with superintendent, assistant superintendent for your level, and HR. Their names come up in conversation. Oh, they haven't met the G6 yet. So please, to get it, we don't want them at risk of their first year teacher, they're at risk of non-renewal if it's not done by June or a year from their hire date. So please have a conversation with them. Yeah?
I just wanted to throw out, because I saw 2 people from November, and I looked at both of them and said, do you realize that you won't get a contract for next year? And they look at me and say, yes. Why?
You're done. You are done. Your principal, I would go to the principal and say, hey, this is what I've done, this is how I've offered the support, and they are not moving forward, and this is what happens. Talk to the principal about what you've done, get you protected. That's that.
Yeah. Could happen, or is that what happens?
They have to do it within their first year. And that is a state requirement. It's not an option, it's a state requirement. They have to get it done in the first year. I think it's out. I thought it was a state. I think it's. I will have to look at. Put a note, but I think it's state. Okay. So T-SIPs. So look at those November people. Say what you gotta say. Go to the principal. Send the principal a message saying this is what I've done. I'm not done these things. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts, or how do you want to see? Just let you know. Maybe they'll talk to the assistant principal who's observing them or evaluating them. Forms. I know that some of you might have gotten forms back because it was on the wrong form. We sent out a message asking all of you to use these circle forms that are in our notebook. We want everybody using the same form. Gee, what form are you referring to?
I got it.
So we sent out a message saying, use these forms, please. And I know some folks might have used the old one because they just had it. That's fine. And it made it come back. So I'm telling you now, if you're doing T-SIPs from day on, use the forms in our OneNote, the most up-to-date form. Okay? Do we all hear that? Do you know where the forms are? Or do you know how to get to them? T-SIPs. Oh, on the website too. So on the website, and they should be on OneNote. Use the forms today. From now, use those forms. We just want things to be consistent. Debbie works very hard. You have to understand what she gets every day. And when things are different, throws her off, right? So, do the new forms. There's a survey for T-SIPs. Did I put it there? Yeah. So take a few minutes, maybe today at the end of the meeting, go to that survey. What do you want to see in T-SIPs? Now, there are questions based on the standards that we're trying to adapt to T-SIPs, but go there, take a look, give feedback. This is, this is what to share to a number of people, and we want as much from you guys as possible. All right? T-SIPs, do you know the dates have changed next year? so instead of scaring, your new teachers have to death in November, right? The first one is January, so we only have 2 dates next year, right? So take a look at that. I think we already have some of the names for sure that are already in the teacher course, I think. So, what else? All right, got all that fun out of there. You guys have been so good, so let's all just come back at 10 o'clock. Don't stop. 10 o'clock. Oh, it's raining? It's not nice?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you had your stuff.
This is